What's up, Warriors fans? It's your main man, Max, here from Warriors Latest. As always, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you like what you hear, as I do post new Warriors videos daily. Now, at long last, we have seen what the Warriors offered Jonathan Kuminga. And all I gotta say is, really? Really? You wanted to lowball your best free agent and you think it's going to repair the relationship? Now, we all know the Warriors offered $40 million over 2 years. And I look at that, it's like, that's a great short-term deal for Kuminga, but it's not a guarantee of future earnings, which is a little concerning. I would want a little more job security than just the next 2 years, especially when you know you could potentially become a big star. And on top of that, one of the things I've been hearing lately on the rumor mill is we've got what they call shrinkflation coming forward, especially in the coming years in free agency. And shrinkflation means, I guess, well, the way the rumors have it is that contracts are going to continue to get smaller and smaller because of teams' fear of the second apron. And they're going to start spreading the money out to all their players versus just giving one, two, or even three guys very big contracts, because those big contracts become albatrosses down the road. So I do see a reason why they want to sort of offer a lowball contract to a player, but it adds to the idea that the Warriors have to trade Jonathan Kuminga, and the fact that this isn't done going into week 5 of free agency is extremely problematic, and it just raises even more questions about the competency of Mike Dunlevy. Now, with Dunlevy, I don't know anymore if he's the right guy for the job to build the Warriors championship roster. I mean, we saw what Bob Myers did when he first came on. He had a bit more leeway when it came to building a title roster, developing staff, helping develop Clay, giving Draymond that opportunity, drafting him, seeing what he's worth, and then finding other ways to bring in like smart free agents and stuff like that. Now, Dunleavy doesn't have that same timeline, and I don't know if he realizes that, and it's just getting to the point where I'm becoming extremely annoyed with everything he does. Like, we look back at when he came on. That's 2023. Bob Myers decides to call it, leaves the Warriors, Dunleavy gets promoted. What is the first thing that Dunleavy does? He trades Jordan Poole and a first-round pick for Chris Paul. And yes, Chris Paul is one of the greatest point guards ever and an expiring contract, but that's about it. And if you're going to give up a young guy like Poole, you can't just trade him with a first-round pick and expect to get better. So that's one strike right there. Now, don't get me wrong. He was able to turn Klay Thompson into Kyle Anderson along with others, as well as bring in Dennis Schroeder, who was acquired via DeAnthony Melton, and then turn all that, along with Andrew Wiggins, into Jimmy Butler. So I'll give him that. However, Jimmy Butler really fell into his lap, so I can't give him too much credit. He's sort of fallen into deals and really just done makeshift work along the way. Now, the Warriors have a 2-year window, and I've said it over and over again. And it's getting to the point where I think they need to bring somebody above Dunleavy to really help him make the decisions, because some of these decisions aren't really getting the team anywhere. Waiting 5 weeks and going with this stalemate with Jonathan Kuminga versus just saying, you know what, it's not good, let's see what we can get out there. If it isn't for one first-round pick, we're going for as many second-round picks as possible, because a good general manager or a good president sees the value of those picks, especially the cost-benefit value. Yes, those picks may not turn into a star, but if you have 5 second-round picks versus 1 first-round pick, one, you're saving money with that contract, as you can offer them extremely team-friendly contracts for second-round picks. And 2, you have 5 chances to potentially find second-round diamonds in the rough, whereas with 1 first-round pick, you only have that 1 chance, and it may not even be a high first-round pick. So you don't want to overvalue those first-round picks. Second-round picks are fine. On top of that, just lowballing a young guy with a 2-year deal, Do you really think that's going to make a lot of friends for you, especially when you're just starting out your general manager career? I really don't think so. I mean, other young players are going to see that and see, look at this guy. He just likes to lowball his restricted free agents on 2-year deals instead of just bucking up and trading him to a team where he can be successful and get a solid package in return. Think about the Miami Heat. That package they got in exchange for Jimmy Butler wasn't that great in terms of what they should have. You think of superstar for superstar, or like getting multiple draft picks for a star. They only got a protected first-round pick, along with Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, and just Andrew Wiggins and Kyle Anderson. That's it. So you got to just expect that, you know what, if you're trading a young player who isn't an all-star yet, who has the potential to be, you're not going to get a good return. I mean, let's look at what who was it? Oklahoma City got back for James Harden. They got Jeremy Lamb, they got Kevin Martin, and they got a first-round pick. Now, that first-round pick was late lottery, don't get me wrong, but outside of Steven Adams, who was that first-round pick, none of them really amounted to much with the Thunder. So you got to just stop overthinking it and then just keep moving forward, build the roster you need to win a championship, and then go from there. Now, I hope Dunlevy gets this done soon, but in the meantime, I have heard of a more interesting trade idea that has been floated around the rumor mill, but I'm not 100% sure of its legitimacy in the immediate future, as it sort of seems like something that's going to happen down the road. And that's the Draymond Green trade, potentially to Detroit. Now, in the near future, I don't really see it happening, just because Draymond wants to win a title. And the best chance of winning a title is with the Warriors. And to go along with his contract, I definitely see the Warriors not really being, I guess, amenable to trading him right now because of how much they value him. However, I do see Detroit potentially making a real offer just because of the jump they made this past year. Remember, 2024, the Warriors were the Pistons were the epitome of dumpster fire franchise. But then they completely change everything. They fire Monty Williams. They bring in Trajan Langdon and then hire, J.B. Bickerstaff. And they go from the toilet to the 6th seed. That's a huge jump. And I think if they're going to make that next jump into maybe a top 4 seed, especially now that the opportunity is available with Indiana going down, with Boston taking a gap year, they're going to want to bring in like a super championship level veteran like Draymond Green, who also is from Michigan, loves the Pistons, and really wants to be a part of the organization. So I definitely see Detroit doing that, though I'm not sure the Warriors are going to be much of an ear for it in terms of their offers. Now, unless they're offering first-round picks and multiple good young players, you could just chalk that up to a slow news day and just a fun trade idea. But bottom line is, for the Warriors going forward, you have to ask yourself, is signing Kuminga to a short-term, lowball offer going to bring them a high-value return if they trade him at the trade deadline? In all honesty, it really isn't. And it just brings up more questions about Mike Dunleavy and his ability to bring a championship team. Now, let's do a hypothetical scenario. Kuminga decides to accept the deal going into training camp instead of signing his qualifying offer. He has that 2-year deal. He has the ability to really get traded at the deadline. But at the deadline, let's look at it. Okay, we have Jonathan Kuminga, $20 million right there. We have, say, Buddy Hield, $9 million right there, and Moses Moody, there's another $11 million right there. Okay, so there's $40 million in 3 players, which is fine. And say you trade him for a big name player. Big name player is probably going to be close to $40 to $45 million per season, and those have to match up because the Warriors are so close to the second apron. So I'm not 100% sure they're going to bring in a guy like that. And on top of that, if they're close to the second apron, it's going to be harder to work in the buyout market because they're giving up 3 players in order to get a high value star. Now, I don't know if they're going to bring in a high value star, but it's just better to trade Kuminga now instead of worrying about what could potentially happen down the road. So the Warriors know what they need to do. They need to sign and trade Kuminga, just get beyond this saga of just doing nothing for 5 weeks and start to build that championship roster, because Steph isn't going to be here forever. And I want to see him get one more ring before he hangs up his kicks and calls it a career. And that's all we have today for Warriors Latest. As always, like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And if you have any disagreement with what I just said, feel free to comment below, as I love engaging with you guys and hearing other trade ideas on how to make the Warriors better. Because there are so many ways that I haven't even thought of yet, and there are just so many things that the Warriors can do to be better. And as always, go Dubs.